That was a whole quest? Why does it keep opening that? I clearly selected quests. Yeah, it was. Alright, well. Circle time again. One day they'll let you skip the clock part. One day. Probably not at this rate, but I can hope. Alright, now we're on Leroy under guard. Oh, you two are back. Paimon's name is Paimon, and this is Storm. Just call us by our names from now on. Did you come to see Benoit? That's right, but I didn't get a chance to speak to him. Looks like I won't be able to finish my essay at this rate. Your essay? Oh, right. You were doing good deeds because you had homework. Hey, that's not true. I really do like Mr. Benoit. He's really smooth. Yeah, that's right. Smooth. What a thing for a child to say about an older man. What kind of descriptor is that? You mean he's personable or a good communicator, don't you? Anyway, please, Miss Paimon, could you help me, please? If you don't, my essay is toast. My tutor said that my essay about helping him feed his cat was unpretentious and filled with genuine emotion from margin to margin, and she wanted me to write another. What? Unpretentious? Don't you mean unpretentious? Anyway, Paimon gets it. So that's why you needed to come back. Well, it is my homework, sure, but I really do like Mr. Leroy. He wanted me to say hi to my parents for him, and so I did. They were really upset when they heard his name, though, and they didn't want me to come. I don't really know why. Well, if it's just for homework, it's easy, isn't it? You can just talk about how you fed the cat again. Are her parents Leroy's actual kids? Well, his actual daughter and her husband? And she's his actual granddaughter? That's my bet. But that would only be one line. That's too little. No way. We'll go with you. I definitely skipped something there. Yeah, that's right. You can feed the cat, and we'll clean the entrance and the rear of the house. And when we're done, we'll knock on the door and talk to Benoit. That'll give you enough content to write about, right? That's right. We can do that. You're so smart, Miss Paimon. Let me go feed the cat right now. That's like 2 sentences worth of content. That's not an essay. How is she gonna stretch out, I fed a cat while my friends washed the ground? Full of boxes. No, not get up. Interact with the boxes. Okay, still can't do anything with them.
I need to get out more.
Where's the other dirt? Oh, here it is. Discuss with Molly. Miss Paimon, Miss Storm, I have fed the cat. Nice. Okay, let's go see Mr. Leroy. I'm worried, though. Maybe he won't come out. When I've come to see him lately, he hasn't even spoken to me. Before you arrived, I went and knocked, but just as he came out, that scary son-in-law of his came and dragged him back inside. He then gave me some sweets and told me to go back to my parents. Then he shut the door. Jeez. Benoit's such a chill guy, so why are his family members such a chilly bunch? Mr. Leroy's son-in-law said that Mr. Leroy was ill and couldn't see me, but I thought he looked fine, so why couldn't he speak to us? Honestly, I'm more worried about Mr. Leroy than I am about my essay. He must feel terrible if he's ill. Mama told me that sick people need our care and concern. So, could you come with me and ask that son-in-law what sort of illness Mr. Leroy has? Maybe he ate too much cake, or he slept without a blanket. I can ask my parents about what to do. Regardless, let's just knock on the door. I know, I'm just a bit scared of that scary son-in-law because he's, well, scary. Could you help me speak to him? Don't be afraid, Molly, we've got this. Also, I can just stab him if it becomes that big of a problem. Athos, the man you saw before, opens the door and walks out. You again? What in the world do you want? Could we ask if Benoit's home? We heard he fell ill, so we're kind of worried about his health. My father is home, but he's in no condition to be receiving guests. Could we ask what he's come down with? I could ask my parents to help get him some medicine. No need. We'll buy what medicines are needed ourselves. And not that he has any lack of medicine anyway. We're just concerned for his health. You don't have to be so cold. Athos just doesn't want to let us see Benoit. This is past cold. He is downright frigid. You concern yourself too much with business that is not your own. Very well. Was there anything else? If not, I'll be heading back. Wait. What is it? Why are you trying to prevent us from seeing Benoit? And why must I allow completely unrelated people to see my father, who became my father 6 months ago? Like I said earlier, he's in no condition to see guests. Athos, what's the disturbance outside? Nothing, Morticia. Just a few kids saying that they want to see Dad. You really do get along well with children, don't you, Dad? Well, since these kids want to see you, why don't you go say hello to them? I'd like to. Can I? Of course you can, Dad. You're in charge. The door opens and Benoit slowly emerges. Ah, it's you again, little ones. You're back. How are you feeling, Mr. Leroy? Me? I'm not doing quite so fine. But not to worry. I'm doing my best to rest up. My daughter and son-in-law are taking very good care of me, so all is well. Just run along home, if you would. Are you sure you're all right, Dad? If it's too much for you, you should go back inside. Did they poison him? Benoit sees Athos and give him a meaningful glance before silently going back indoors, or they're like torturing him in secret. Well, so you've seen him for yourselves then. My father really is unwell. Does that satisfy you? If there's nothing else, I'm going back inside. Whee! Athos ignores all of you. Shocker. Well, at least we got to say a few words to Mr. Leroy. I do hope he gets better soon. Looks like I caused trouble for other people, Miss Paimon. That wasn't what I wanted. Don't think that way. You weren't any trouble at all. In fact, Paimon thinks that Athos guy is the real problem here. The entire time, he was just... You should go home first, Molly. Storm, you... True. I should head back as well. My parents don't like it when I come here, you know. They get mad if they knew I came here today. I don't know if we'll get to see Mr. Leroy again. I really wanted to tell him that his snacks were super tasty. Well, could you help me tell him that if you see him? After he gets better, I mean. No problem. And Paimon's too. Alright, thank you, Miss Storm. Paimon's response only makes sense if we picked the second dialogue option. That's weird. I've got to go home now. See you. What do you think, Storm? Paimon noticed you had "I've got something to say" written all over your face as soon as she looked at you. Let's talk over there. Sure. Let's go talk somewhere else. Will this place do? Come on. Tell Paimon what's on your mind. There is something off about that couple. Paimon thinks so too. One of them talks a whole bunch while the other barely says a word. The timing of their appearance was too convenient to be a coincidence. You mean to say they showed up just as Benoit was thinking about hiring some hourly help, right? Euphrasie said that he was still hiring half a year ago, but in that time, this couple became his children. You're right. Everything's just too deliberate. There's definitely something going on with this couple. There's something fishy about their relationship with him, too. When we first met them a few days back, things still seemed fine. But there's something awkward about the way they spoke today. He's being coerced by his son-in-law? Are you talking about how the son-in-law guy gave him a look and made him go inside after he'd only said one or two things? Now that you mention it, Paimon kinda gets where that confused feeling comes from. And the way this couple deals with outsiders doesn't sit right with me. Exactly. They were nice enough when we first met them, but they sure turned rotten quickly. Yeah, they were only friendly to us when their father was around. Let Paimon think. That's true. The first time we met, it was right after Benoit went inside that his son-in-law told us not to come around again. They are faking it. But why would they pretend to be friendly in front of their dad? There's gotta be a reason for it. Well, that's all I've got. Storm, do you think Benoit's in some kind of danger? Yes. Oh, Paimon's got a bad feeling about this. Should we report it to the Maison Gardiennage? We've got no evidence. That's true. But in the end, we're here to help him, right? Molly asked us to tell Benoit that his snacks were super tasty, and we gave our word. And our word is our sacred bond. Paimon knows you always keep your promises. Well, you've got a good brain too, so what's our next move? Let's do some investigating. Yeah, let's get to the bottom of this case. What should we investigate specifically? The identity of the couple. That's right. Look out, world. Ace detectives Paimon and Storm are going to expose the truth. Oh, that's the end of that.
I need to get out more.
Do I have to progress time again? Okay, well let's try cycling a day. See if that triggers the next quest. It did. Leroy High Noon. Go near his house to investigate. Pip. Hello, Pip. Hello? Is anyone there? Do you still want your newspaper? Hello? Anybody there? Hi. Is Benoit not at home? How should I know? Either way, it's right weird subscribing to a paper and not collecting it. Whenever I delivered here, he would always at least reply, but recently I haven't seen hide nor hair of him at all. The copies of the Steambird I've left here are already piling up. You know him, do you? Yep, that's right. We're good friends of his. Good friends? Whatever. How about I give you the papers and you pass them along when you see him? Sure. Leave them to us. That's that then. I did my best to deliver them. Don't you turn around and say I didn't. I've got other things to do. This man really just trusted two randos who walked up to him from behind to deliver newspapers. We could just be stealing all of these newspapers. I don't know why we would steal newspapers, but we could be doing that. That said, we haven't seen him recently either. You too? Seriously, What's he been busy with recently? Could he have gone back to his old home? I haven't heard anything about that, though. Old home? That's right. His old place over in the Fliv Sond. Wait, that's where he used to live? Wait, you didn't know that he moved here from down there? Are you really his friends? Whatever, forget it. No need to explain. I do not care a whit what your relationship is. Just get the newspapers to him and I'll be grateful. Okay, here you go. Bye. It feels like there's a lot we don't understand about Benoit. Do you think this might have something to do with what we're investigating? The more info, the better. All right then, next up, let's check around his house a bit. Maybe we'll learn a bit more about him. That said, we can't make too much noise or we'll alert that couple. Investigate. Observe. The bowl contains a slab of fish. Nana seems most pleased. Okay. You've seen these boxes near Benoit's house before. Judging by the traces left in the layer of dust covering them, they were opened quite recently. Up close, a rank smell of fish and dampness assaults your nostrils. But when you passed by before, the boxes hadn't been moved. Where did the smell come from? This stinks like a sewer. This stuff didn't smell like this when we came around a few days back. Didn't Benoit say he only used these to store furniture and stuff? Where did this horrible stench come from, then? Did some new stuff get dumped here? Well, there's a piece of paper sticking out. Let's take a look. Pliers ×1, saw ×1, candles ×3, rope. The receipt's been torn up. Only half of it is left. Bricari's General Store. We've seen that name somewhere, haven't we? I don't know. Have we? It has a slick, oily sensation that you're sure had to have been left by a candle. Who lingered here with a candle in hand, and for what purpose? That box looks completely out of place, and it stinks. I suspect it was brought here from the Fliv Sonde, meaning that someone from Benoit's family went there recently. And he was from there himself, wasn't he? All the clues we've got have to do with that place, Storm. We'll probably get more useful information there. Well, let's go then. Words. Off to the Fliv Sonde. Alright. Why am I not tracking this quest? Thank you.